Let's talk a little bit of LSU football here as they wind down spring football. They will finish it up with the practice inside Tiger Stadium on Saturday morning. I think it's vital that LSU restore the greatness that was DBU. Y'all are all aware, if you've watched LSU for 2 seasons, they just have not been able to cover well enough. I thought it was a massive problem 2 years ago when the defense really fell apart, but it started against Jordan Travis and Florida State. They just simply couldn't cover anybody. And I thought that continued in the game against USC in the fourth quarter last year. LSU built a lead and couldn't hold the lead because Miller Moss was making plays. Now, I want to put a caveat into that yes, USC's wide receivers made a couple of sensational plays in that game. But the LSU DBs that I'm used to seeing are going to make more plays on the ball than LSU has made on the ball the last 2 years. This is not something I can back up statistically. It's purely something I saw with my own eyes, just being inside Tiger Stadium and watching the game unfold. Ole Miss actually covered LSU. Every time it felt like Garrett Nussmeier was making a throw, Ole Miss had somebody in the vicinity to contest the throw. Now, LSU made big plays. I mean, you had Aaron Anderson over the middle, just a sensational throw on the 4th down to tie the game in overtime. Kyron Lacey makes a play on the ball in overtime. But Ole Miss had guys in position. I feel like far too often LSU just hasn't had guys in position the last 2 years. And that just comes with talent and the ability to play your technique and to stick with elite SEC wide receivers. And LSU has made a concerted effort to go into the transfer portal and overhaul the secondary. Overhaul it. Jakeem Jackson, Tamarcus Cooley, they're in here to cover some people. No doubt. And they're going to probably be out there early and often. You know the kind of talent that DJ Pickett is. Obviously. He's got star written all over him. Elite length, good speed, got to put on some weight, but great ball skills as well. At safety, like, how big a difference is it going to make that Jordan Gilbert has had this shoulder repaired? Is Deshaun Spears ready to step up and become an enforcer back there and a guy who can make some plays on the ball? Ashton Stamps returns for his 3rd year. I'm not real sure what to make of Ashton Stamps' first 2 years. I think he was probably ill-prepared to play 2 years ago as a true freshman who came in as a 3-star recruit and was thrust into playing time because there were injuries in the secondary and nobody was really producing, so you go with a young buck. There were times where he graded really high on Pro Football Focus this past year as a sophomore, but has he had an impact similar to... I mean, I'm not even talking about Patrick Peterson and Derek Stingley and Morris Claiborne and Tyrann Mathieu. I'm talking about Jalen Mills. I'm talking about Rashard Robinson. I'm talking about Ron Brooks. I'm talking about Christian Fulton. I'm talking about guys who were never really the number one corner on a team, but were just really good second or third options that ended up being NFL players. Do we feel like Ashton Stamps is ready to be that? I don't know. Here's what I know. Corey Raymond, for better than a decade, has developed 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars into pros. And this roster has 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars. And you need to convert some of these guys into pros, into second-round picks that make rosters. And you become that based on your performance on Saturdays in purple and gold. And if LSU can make more plays on the ball, get some turnovers, stop some drives, and get the ball back to this offense, they're going to win a ton of games. I don't really have many questions about the offense. I can poke holes in just about every level of the defense with question marks. Not with certainties that suggest they have no chance of making it, but with question marks. And still, corner is a question mark. You look at the ranking in high school of Jakeem Jackson and DJ Pickett, well, you've got guys with a lot of potential. You look at what you hear from practice with Ashton Stamps and PJ Woodland, you've got some guys who have made plays out on the Ponderosa. You look at the productivity in the ACC from Tamarcus Cooley, okay. Deshaun Spears, huge recruit. Jordan Gilbert, 3-year starter. It's possible that LSU can restore itself to what we've known, but it's still a question mark. The best seasons happen when these question marks get resounding answers. What's my confidence level in LSU becoming a top 5 or 6 SEC defense against the pass? It's reasonably high, 6 or a 7 out of 10. That's my trust in Corey Raymond. That's my trust in his evaluation, his development to get things right. I don't think that was allowed to happen last year in his first year with what I deem to be limited talent. And I said that on the show 2 weeks into camp. I don't think LSU's good enough at corner. And it got a lot of pushback. And I didn't think they played well enough at corner the first month and a half of the season. I certainly didn't think they played well enough corner against Alabama in Tiger Stadium. Now, it didn't matter how they played at corner against Texas A&M. A&M just ran the ball. But there are going to be times where teams are trying to keep up with LSU by throwing the football. And that is when you've got to find a way to make some more plays. That's Corey Raymond's duty. And if they can get there, you're a playoff team. You just are. There's not that many questions that need to be answered to get LSU into the playoffs. But that's one of them, and you got to answer it with a resounding yes. We'll see. LSU will practice on Saturday morning to close out spring football. If you're looking for my LSU football content, you can always find it at Hunt on LSU. It's on YouTube or wherever you find your podcast. Hunt on LSU, all LSU football all year round. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.